How you doing, ladies and gentlemen? My name is Xander. I am here with This and That, where we're talking about this, that, and everything in between. Today, we were supposed to be talking to Ken about Ken's writing service, and yeah, we're wondering where Ken is at. As we get things rolling to get Ken up here on the show, because he was supposed to be here, make sure that you guys like and subscribe. Make sure that you guys join the membership. Uh, we will be giving you guys the opportunity if you click the link in the comment section, approve the mic, approve the camera, and then it'll bring you into the green room, which will allow us to confirm that you're over the age of 18. And and then we'll bring you up on because it is adult primarily to be seen podcast kind of thing. By all means, you can throw out some shout outs. You can throw out appropriate shout outs now. So if you have a friend or a relative, I know that I've had a couple of my loyal, I want to say fans, but bombers, they like to jump in and have a couple of laughs with us. And I've recognized that they come in and we definitely have a few laughs, but some of the inappropriate jokes that they throw down, we can't run them on the podcast. So we put all the appropriate ones up here, all the ones that are reasonably not going to get me canceled, and then all the ones that I let them know, hey, we can't do that. So beyond that, typically we try to get a few small content creators. We try to get some individuals that are more to the tune of small business owners or even large business owners in some situations that have a brand, a product that they like to promote, that they would like to bring up onto the show, talk a little bit about their content, especially if it's something that they did starting up by themselves and then they made it into something big. We like to bring these small business owners onto the show and try to get them to tell us a little bit more about themselves and a little bit more about their company and what they really like about their product and their product services. The way we had Alan up here last week with his Happy Oli product, as well as his Crestify Studios. And it gives us a better insight as to how to start up and run and create businesses, as well as how to do B2B, which is business to business collaborations, where one business's service can benefit another business's need for work, which is how we subcontract for work, is that we have stuff that needs to be done and we try to find people who are better at it than us so that we can pay them to do that work for us. We also have actually, now that I think about it, I have a gentleman I need to talk to after the show and see if I can get him up on the show. There's a gentleman that actually does SEO searches, and he helps you with fine-tuning the metadata to give you more real organic searches for your content. And it'd be great to have him up here on the show, but I got to talk to him and see if he has time and availability. But I've actually utilized his services, and I actually seen one video that just blew up in moments because of the correct SEO words being utilized for that particular type of video. So that leads me to say that if in the event that you find somebody that's good at what they do and you can benefit from that, then you pay them what they ask, but they also have to be able to do what you need them to do. So when you're looking at, I've got this gentleman over here, Ken, I'm about to pull up his website over here. So give me just a moment to share the screen with you guys, because just like we did last week, we were able to share screen with Alan's website because he had a website. This is website for Ken's Studios, and it is actually Ken's content writing services. So Ken is the boss of the service. Now on this website, and I can put the link to this website into the description of the channel, and some of the follow-up highlights for the channel, we'll be able to put those in there. we have a help question over here. I should put in there, I'm looking for Ken. He's supposed to be on the podcast right now. But I'm not going to do that. But we have the main page, and on the main page, if you click it, you're able to put your content information in there, and then you'll be able to have them give you an email back. This generates hot leads for individuals that are trying to produce a service. These are some of the logos that he has been able to create, which actually look pretty good. And these are some of the qualifications that he has had for standing out. He has definitely done some pretty good work. I've seen some of it. I was trying to get my hands on some of the stuff that he has on LinkedIn, but I did have one site, this one, that he worked on, which this one is a WordPress page. And you have, as you can see, the imagery here and the detailed and text translations in multiple languages, which is something that not a lot of customers can do. And this one is designed by, as you can see there, Ken's Content Creating Service. And then there's a Kenneth. There you go. So one of the things that we look at social media platforms for brand visibility and extra income for remote job work. That was done in May. So you've got a lot of articles here on this particular page where you see the digital income stream that this particular website is building. And this particular website also comes from Ken's ability to produce work. So what they help you do, certain products like ebooks, helping you guys with putting together and writing ebooks and helping you get the most quality design that you need for your ebook, white paper writing, which is whether it's dissertations and notes or whatever the company is looking for that needs to be documented. I mean, I'm pretty sure they're not doing legal documents, but I mean, if you're trying to write down a story or pass along some information or do some type of documented presentation, they would be able to help you out with that. Product descriptions. So when you're giving detailed, compelling and persuasive product descriptions, that even in an ad where it's highlighting all of the best qualities of a product or the efficiency of one quality product over another quality product, where they're saying, hey, both of these products are good, but mine is better, that kind of thing, they're able to help you guys with a lot of those. Now, as you can see, since Ken already has one website designed off to the side on WordPress, you see that they do have capabilities to do website content writing, where they would be writing the SEO friendly content for the website, which is going to give you more retention on your website page, your blog writing, which I was showing you some of his blogs. Let me show you some of Ken's blogs, because he had some blogs over here on this page. So let's show you what one of these blogs look like. Wow. See, I wish Ken was here so that I could see. Double check, make sure he hasn't popped in yet. No, he hasn't. But I want to be able to see, like, leveraging social media platforms. These are some pretty good images. And he explains about building a personal brand, which is some of the stuff that we've covered on the show. We did not cover exploring remote job opportunities. We just said that there's an opportunity to do so. You can get more information by putting your email in there, but he's got a lot of stuff about e-commerce and drop shipping, affiliate marketing, which affiliate marketing works hand in hand with e-commerce and drop shipping when you are trying to promote links to your products in certain high traffic websites, squeeze pages and other such. But drop shipping is a standalone situation where if you have a search engine that's going to produce it, like Amazon, Walmart.com, or you can just post your product up there. The e-commerce side of things is the electronic or internet sales of goods and services, allows you to just like put up a product that can be sold, a physical item that can be sold somewhere, and then somebody gets on the internet, they see it, they buy it. And you have places like Facebook Marketplace, Instagram Shops, Pinterest, that all have these particular types of shops and stores on it, where your product can be advertised there, and then somebody that's already utilizing that can buy it and buy it from you, and in many other places. So this is some of the things that he's able to do, and this is one of those articles that he's talking about writing blogs. You have the social media content, which is like what we do on This and That, where you have compelling social media content that resonates with the target audience and boosts your online presence, because you're going to be able to communicate with your fans by providing them with the information and knowledge that they need. Now, real quick, before I start taking in a lot of Q&As, I'm looking at the fact that he has different packs here. He has a starter pack for some people that are looking for up to 5 pages. And I would assume that 5 pages is something to the magnitude of close to 3,000 words. I'm just guessing. I'm not quoting him. I'm just implying, because I've wrote a lot of essays in my day, and that seems to be around about the size of 3,000 words. He has the ideas for small businesses, which means that they're going to be helping you guys with brainstorming and basic SEO optimizations. That's actually a pretty good deal to get you where you need to be at, to get you started. Just for the SEO side of things, that would be a pretty good deal. Now, with the professional side of things, when you're looking at up to 100 pages of content, advanced SEO optimizations, and perfect for growing a business, advanced SEO optimizations, depending on exactly how much effort they're going to put into your SEOs and your content creation, $200 a month looks like a pretty feasible price to deal with, because as a content creator, like, SEOs can make or break you. If you have the right SEOs, then you'll have the right views. If you don't have the right SEOs, then you're not going to get the right views. I have had situations where there was a plethora of views coming in from a specific set of positive words, and then when we went to a different set of SEOs, the productivity declined rapidly. So when you're looking at the enterprise level, this is going to be like corporate level, where they're looking at comprehensive SEO strategies, where they're probably going to be fine-tuning your SEOs for every document that you're posting up. And you're having customized content solutions, which means that you're going to have some customer support agents that's going to be able to work with you on a step-by-step basis to get you what you're looking for and get you where you want to be. The tailored to large enterprises means that they're not just a small company. They definitely work towards larger companies. And you have a lot of, let's see, it says take a look at some of their work. They have a lot of images of some people that have been and done. And keep in mind, satisfied customers. So Deco Christ. So we have, what is that? Hager LLC, Brunlau Incorporated. That's at least 3 of the clients that they've had in recent times. And then they also have a little bit more about their dream and their mission. And it looks like they're a very diverse company. And where is Ken? Because you have Sarah, Emily Rodriguez, and Adam Smith are some of the people that are on Ken's page. But Ken, that's a guy who makes it do what it do. He's the one that I would lean towards if you ever want to get something done or accomplish some tasks and some goals. And I told him, I said, yeah, bro, I'll bring you up onto the show and we'll have you come in and show us some of your work, show us some of your content, and we'll be able to flip through and make it a win. Scheduling seems to be not his friend today. And, I understand when it comes time to run a business, just like yesterday, I was not in it. No matter how hard I tried, I was not in it. And when I went there, I had to crash out. And it just happens. It happens. It's something that we have to deal with, that sometimes we do not have what it takes to burn a candle at both ends, 18 hours a day, 7 days a week. So, yeah, I can completely understand when things change. There is a lot of links that are redirecting to the same link. So I was looking at the other squeeze page, the WordPress page, because I've actually had WordPress websites. I've used Wix.com before. Wix.com is a little bit more interactive than WordPress, but you learn coding with WordPress, and you're able to create certain websites that like help you out and help you boost your brand and help you build up your SEOs and stuff like that. And if you're doing affiliate marketing, you're doing blogs. It's like every day you write a story and every day you post it up, and every day your story gets traffic if you're using the right SEO words, you're using the right keywords, and every day that story ends up getting you. Got another one in here with that. Thank you very much. You should have seen the black ones I was wearing yesterday. I had to run the show twice yesterday because I ran it for 20 minutes and then I had to bow out, and I was like, nah, I got to get back in there and get the show done because I was burned out yesterday. So yeah, when you're dealing with WordPress, you're dealing with being able to learn how to write your articles using keywords that are included in the keyword search, and then that article gets found and that article gets views, and then that the website gets views. Now, one of the things that I've come to find is that it's actually really good if you have a website that is fine-tuned to the ability to then take the videos that you create, the content that you create for social media platforms, and embed them into those other platforms. Then you've got more videos, you get more views per video off of those videos, and then you got traffic feeding into your platform from somewhere else. Now, from what I understand, according to YouTube's algorithm and processes, that they typically do not throw impressions at a video that they recognize is embedded in another website. So slap in the face. But if you're doing a very good and you have a live podcast at the same time, and your blog page is promoting your live podcast as you create stories and content for your blog page, and then you subsequently provide the video and you post the video up into the blog page, then you could actually probably put it in there as a link and then make it as like a video, a visible link, as opposed to like a playable video in the background of the podcast. One of the two. Like, because if you can get it to play automatically, whoever goes to the main blog gets you credit for the playing of the video, regardless of how long they play the video. But your goal isn't really to do video views for the sake of getting views on the video. You're doing it for the sake of the views attracting advertisement compensation, which means that they have to see the ads that are embedded in the video that you create over them having the ability to see the video itself. But it's good for them to see the video and like the video. And that's why having somebody who can aid you with SEOs and have somebody who can aid you with content creation to give you a better quality performance, that would be one of the ways I would recommend putting the situation together, so that your show would give you, or your podcast, or whatever you're doing for your channel, whether you try to read off of a script versus trying to wing it. I'm doing a fly by night tonight because Ken forgot to be here, so show must go on. I could reschedule the show, but I have a collaboration to do and I'm going to do it. So he asked me last week to reschedule it this week. He said he was going to be here this week, so I'm going to do it this week. Now, then I'm going to put a link to the show in the email, and he's going to be like, oh, snap, I forgot. I don't know what to say. However, I'll make some shorts out of the first 10 minutes when I was talking positively about the podcast, about the website, and give them some love there. No diddy. Because today was supposed to be more of a Q&A, talking about the positive things that Ken likes about his company and the things that his company would bring to a deal. Since I don't have that, I can actually go back into some of the things that I have seen on the podcast lately. I've got some guys that they come in and they really do these really interesting like spam bot style, like drive in there and like do some spam bot style posting. That's what it looks like. One of the comments came from a Richard Clark, and he said, thanks for the forecast. Like I'm telling the weather. I'm supposed to be talking to you guys about this was from the Crestify. I was supposed to be telling you guys in that particular video about what to do and how to do it with getting Crestify to help you with your imaging for your packages and labeling for your products. And this person comes and asks me, can you help me with something unrelated? And I did say that you can ask me unrelated questions. He asked me an unrelated question. He says my OKX wallet holds some USDT. And then he has this phrase in there. And then he asked me what's the best way to send them to Bionics. Now I can tell you, I went in there and I gave him a step-by-step rollout of how to transfer it to Bionics. Because I mean, if you ask, you shall receive. As long as it's an appropriate question, I'm going to try my best to provide you with an appropriate answer. If it is not an appropriate question, I'm going to more than likely disregard the question. But when he asked me about the Bionics, and he wasn't the first one to ask me this type of question, because the question came back to me again from a Jenny Brown, and I can't say that they're not the same person, because you can create an unlimited quantity of emails in your lifetime, and then you can just circulate them through when you decide to do something that you got no business doing. Either way, Jenny Brown had the same type of question, and I had to tell them both the same thing. Well, if you guys are dealing with these wallets, the first thing you got to do is you have to figure out where your SafePal is from your binary, and then you want to open your SafePal wallet, and then you want to launch your SafePal app onto your device. Then you want to find your currency that you're trying to exchange, and then you want to navigate to the wallet and store the currency into your wallet. Then you want to go back to your Bionic deposit address, whatever the location is that your account is. You want to input that into the wallet, and then you want to select a it says fiat and spot, which is the USDT in the list, and click in the deposit button. This is going to actually give you the option to choose which network you're going to utilize to deposit the money, and based on your preference, you're going to end up with some that actually have cheaper fees, like TRC20, and then you're going to copy the deposit address provided by Bionics, and then just deposit your money. When you initiate the transfer, you want to be back in your SafePal wallet and select the option to send a USDT, and then paste the binary deposit address that you copied earlier into the recipient field, and enter the amount of USDT you wish to transfer, and then select your network. Now, that's going to be a little bit more intricate, but again, if you're going to be selecting the network TRC20, then you're probably going to be dealing with the same TRC20 in SafePal. When you confirm all of your details, double check everything, triple check it, quadruple check it, because this is going to be one of those, if you send it in the wrong direction, you never get it back kind of things. It's like handing somebody $100 and asking them to hold your wallet. They're going to run off with it if you do it to the wrong one. So you want to check and double check and make sure that you're sending it to the right location. Then you're going to enter your security password or use your biometric authentication if enabled. I would have a biometric authentication enabled. In addition to that, they have the authentication key where it gives you like a 6-digit number that randomly changes every 30 to 60 seconds, I would get one of those. That way, I don't know what the password is until I try to log in. That keeps them from running off with your stuff. Unless, of course, you tell people that the key to your stuff is generated from this device over here, then, of course, they would knock you off and take that device so that they could get access to your stuff. But if nobody knows how to get in. Now, you can also use your SafePal to track your transactions to make sure everything's going the way it's supposed to go. Monitor your bionics to make sure that the money left the account the way it was supposed to leave the account. And one of those important tips that you guys should have is that if you keep your seed phrase secure, so don't tell everybody on the internet, always ensure that your seed phrase is stored safely and never share it with anyone, because that means that if you give them your seed phrase, then you will be leaving yourself wide open for somebody logging into your account and trying to run off with all of your money. That also, if somebody's throwing their seed phrase around, if you see a seed phrase, just red flag that stuff like bait cars, because leaving a Lambo with the keys in the ignition is about as dangerous for you as a person trying to take it as it is leaving your binary code on a website where a random person can grab it and go attempt to acquire the funds at any point in time. Now, for you that are trying to go and acquire those free funds, you got to understand that you could actually get hacked by allowing yourself to participate in those kinds of shenanigans. And a worst case scenario, the account could be involved in something that's not altogether legal. And if in the event that you start with from a account that on investigation, you're becoming under investigation. So that's also another reason why if you see somebody throwing their binary codes in there, you want to kind of avoid that. Ignore it completely. Treat it like spam mail. Then you also want to understand that transaction fees are definitely something that's going to happen, and the potential for transaction fees associated with the transfers can vary depending on the network that you use. So wait for confirmation, get your blockchain transaction. And that's why it's a dangerous scenario, because it's blockchain. You're not going to get your money back if you do it wrong. It's almost like Cash App. If you send the money to the wrong phone number, somebody's got extra money. Cash App ain't going to go and retrieve your money and get it back for you, put it into your account. Your money is just gone. So unlike PayPal is better than Cash App, because if you sent it to the wrong person, they will recover your funds. If you cancel the payment, they recover your funds. Even if they charge you a nominal fee for that, they'll recover your funds. And then after you do that, you want to be patient, get your initiating transfer receipts. Then by following those steps, you should be able to successfully transfer your USDT from your SafePal wallet to your Bionic account. So for those of you who did ask, how do I get this done? There you go. Because there was a couple of you guys that asked me that question a couple days ago. I told you guys yesterday I had a lot of stuff going on. The answer to those questions, even if it's not really all that appropriate, I'm going to get those answers to the questions. And yeah, that is how things will work. So yeah, and about that, I had another comment on the show. I got to go down to this one because this one was very entertaining. And I did say, because I know Sunday we usually do the questions and comments on the show. And I have this one from about a month ago that came in and commented, and then everybody dove in on that one. Everybody dove in on that one. So we had actually one comment to talk about before I go on to the one that everybody dove in on. We had one comment that actually turned into a whole conversation, and this was a couple weeks ago. And I'm actually proud of this one because we were talking about trading and long-term investings, and a Jennifer Watley came in, and she was asking about Fed cutting interest rates by 50 BPS, and she was asking about what do we think about the stock market, and her portfolio has performed exceptionally well this past year, but she's concerned about the possibility of market crash and losing her gains, though it's all on a brighter and splurging side for gold. So she was asking, what should she do? Now, this came up after we were talking about the gold rush that we started talking about. Now, Daniel Quinn jumped in here. Daniel was talking about investing in gold is a reliable choice, and he planned on keeping buying more gold to make up for his losses. And that's what I started telling you guys in the show, was that people buy gold and silver to offset the depreciations of the market crash. Now, Quinn comes back, silver's all the collectibles are the same. It's important to have a clear investment goal and educate yourself on the type of investment that interests you. And he's working on a financial consultant regulated by SEC, and he started a small but eventually accumulated investment to about 800,000. Now, I got to tell you, that's a good run. So later in that conversation, they started talking about somebody named Gabriel, and Gabe is a broker, but Gabe does some really good financial advice, and Gabe is able to give you guys insight and information. The conversation, if you want to know more about it, apparently you can look up Gabe and you can find Gabe, and then you can go straight to his page. So just finding his name on the page, they have a pretty nifty conversation back and forth where Gabe actually just gained a customer from us being able to talk about business and finance. Is there a reason why what it needs to show me at the moment? Oh boy. This is one of those days where the internet stops working in our favor. So as I was saying before the situation froze up, because I told you guys they're working on the tower today. They just got the parts in. They called me 3 times today. I only got one of the phone calls. The rest of them went to voicemail. They're working on the towers today, and the towers went. And it's such a negative. We're 6 weeks away from putting ourselves into a better location. So we're just get all of our get all of our traction together. That's what we're trying to do. We're trying to get all of our traction together. So when it comes down to that, let's see, where are we? Oh, I gotta tell you guys about the other one, the one that I really wanted to talk to you guys about. But take a look in our comment section. You'll see, if you follow the show, like and subscribe, you'll see those comments that was talking about from 2 weeks ago, some investing in gold and silver. And that was around the time we started talking about doing investments in gold and silver. And we had a nifty commenter that came in. We had one that was actually really good, but that one was talking about how they had found a woman who prioritized the man. So KC was able to find a woman that was able to prioritize him, and they've been married for 17 years. And wow. He's like, look, I let him know you're in for the long haul. Like a lot like what I was telling what's her name? Vera yesterday. Or a couple days ago. Vera was telling me about her she wasn't ready for all that. And I'm like, look, when you start asking people to make sacrifices and bend over backwards, you got to ask them to be in it for the long haul. And if they're in it for the long haul, then you're able to make it make sense for you. Oh, wait, hold on, y'all. I don't want to interfere with the screen here. So this is the one that I was looking at, and yeah, I can see you guys. So we were doing one And I talked to you guys about this one a couple times on the show before, but I didn't go into detail. I kind of gave you the cliff notes because I was trying to remember it from memory, and my memory isn't as good as it used to be. It's not nearly as good as my aim. So I might forget the target, but I won't miss the target that I'm aiming for. Either way, jokes and puns, jokes and puns. Either way, we were talking about in this one particular show where and this was about a month ago, probably about going on 6 weeks ago, where we were talking about how it makes men are being put in a financially constrained situation just to be in a relationship where the women are determining the man's value based on the man's financial income. And when we were talking about that show, I had made a statement that the man is supposed to, if the man is supposed to be the one that is going to be responsible, and the man is supposed to be the leader because the woman wants the man to lead, the woman doesn't want to lead. The woman just wants to be led by the man, which means that the man should be able to control the resources. And this is in a healthy fashion. This isn't in an abusive, like, oh, do as I say or you don't eat tonight kind of fashion. That's not what I'm talking about. We're talking about, like, making responsibilities. When you select the proper partner, that partner puts what you like to have happen in your life, like, as a goal to be achieved, and then what he would like to have happen in his life as a similar goal, and then try to figure out a way to make both of them happen to the best of his ability. Now, the fact is that if he's focusing on your success as well as focusing on his own success, then you're supposed to be focusing on his success because he's focusing on your success. And in that particular situation, if he's making financial decisions that will benefit you in the long run, you are supposed to trust him with that. Now, we had a comment where a woman was like, oh, women shouldn't tell men how much they make because they just want the man just wants to use her for her money. And it's like, women ask men for their money all the time. Ask the man how much money does he make all the time. So why can't men do the same thing? Truth be told, if a man knows how much money that a woman has, he knows how much money she's capable of spending. He knows what she's spending on herself, and he knows what she's not contributing to the situation. So he's able to figure out a more effective budget where he's able to take care of the household, make sure that what he has is taken care of, and then not overspend on the fact that she's taking care of herself and he's taking care of her. Now, I was told, according to KRYSM, so acronyms, not even a full name up there, says, oh, sounds like you're in denial about a large percentage of your sex. And I'm like, no, because no man is going to be sitting there talking about I'm going to let you walk all over me and everything's going to be copacetic. That's not okay. When I said men need to be able to pay attention to what's going on so that they can be able to assist the way things needed to be assisted, she's like, no. She's saying that many men like to use money to control their partners. The men who can use money to control their partners are like Chris Brown, Bill Cosby, Mike Tyson, Ray Rice, OJ Simpson, but then the men who throw their money around, like Nick Cannon, Quavo, you know what I'm saying, Drake, you know what I'm saying, R. Kelly, they're not really using people for their money, but when we start talking about holding out on resources in order to manipulate somebody for personal gain, you have to think about the women who hold out on physical and emotional intimacy to control the man. And you got to ask yourself, we weren't talking about the negative sides of controlling assets and resources in that particular show, but it triggered her to be able to talk about that. And she's going to say that it's all throughout history. All throughout history, the woman followed the lead of the man and did what she was told. And that had nothing to do with the resources. It was just because back in those days, a term called domestic violence didn't exist. So the taste in her mouth would no longer be there if she did not follow instructions. The same way that hard heads made soft behinds, because in them days, if the children did not respect the adults, again, they would not be able to sit down because they're going to respect the authority. And the authority is usually the dad, sometimes the mom and the dad, but the authority is usually the dad, and mom is usually the friend of the kid. So that makes the dad the bad guy, because every time no needs to be said, that's the one that's forced to say it. Now, likewise, when she comes and talks about how it's all throughout history that the tactics adopted but goals remain the same, I'm like, no, the goals are never going to be the same. If you are trying to be a successful businesswoman and you're trying to go to college and get you a degree, your man's got to be able to pay for your aid you in paying for your college education, because women who chase their degree want a man to invest in her success. So all you're asking is, will I pay your way? Now, when the statement was made in that exact same show was, why aren't women reciprocable, and why are you not willing to, let your husband quit his job and then put himself through college and then go and get himself a better job, and he live off of you until he makes himself successful, since you lived off of him and made yourself successful. And that's not, my man needs to already be made. That was a response. So I was like, that's not cool. So she goes on to say that if a woman is managing her own budget, is independently paying all her own expenses and bills, what exactly makes you think you need to balance the budget? Well, if she's living by herself, then she can do whatever she wants to do. But if she is living with the man, she is paying for her own phone bill. She might put gas in her own car. You would hope. That's usually not how women operate. She might pay for her own car insurance if her car insurance is in her name. But after that, what else is she paying for? If she is driving his car, she's not paying his insurance, because it's her own bills and her own personal expenses that she costs for herself. But the stuff that she costs for her man, that part is not in her budget, but she gets to keep all of her money. So then when she wants her hair and nails did, and she asks her boyfriend or her husband to pay for that, well, the response should then be, don't you have a job? Why can't you pay for it yourself? If the mentality is that you're going to pay for yourself 100% of the way, and then I'm going to pay for myself 100% of the way. I said this before. You guys aren't even in an egalitarian relationship. You're roommates, because you're taking care of yourself. I'm taking care of myself. It's a little bit cheaper because some of the stuff that we share, like the water bill, the light bill, the cable bill, if we have a family plan or something like that, we're saving a little bit of money on the bill. And if we both go half on those bills, where I put up 50% of the cost of the bill and you put up 50% of the cost of the bill, regardless of who used it the most, then we're paying less per month than what we would have been paying if I had to pay 100% of all of the bills and you had to pay 100% of all of the bills. So you save a little bit of money there, but that's not actually balancing a budget. Because believe it or not, what women are refusing to admit to in a lot of these situations is that there are expectations that the woman has that needs to be met. And those expectations are financial expectations. So the man has to balance the budget to find out, well, how much money are you going to bring in if you're not going to tell me how much money that you make, so that he can determine how much money he got to spend on bills, so that he can determine how much money he has left over, so that he can determine how much of that money he's going to spend on her. Because there are a lot of women out there, more than what is willing to admit it, that will say that it is not, that the man does not care about the woman if the man is not buying her gifts and taking her nice places and getting her nice outfits and getting her hair and nails and makeup done and this, that, and the third. And a lot of women feel like they can shame a man and tell a man that he's not considered a man if she decides that she wants to go shopping. And when she says she wants to go shopping, she doesn't mean that she's going to be back. She's going to go shopping with her own money and come back. She expects him to put her in a car, take her shopping. Then, oh, this is supposed to be a bonding moment because she's going to try on all these clothes. he's going to agree with everything that she says, because if he disagrees, then they're going to fight. So he's supposed to agree with everything that she says, and then he's going to pay for all the stuff after she picks out the clothes. She might even go so far as to let him pick some of the stuff, but then he's got to pay for all of the clothes. And that's what a man is expected to do. Now, the sad part is that it's got to be in his budget. So how am I supposed to know that me wasting my money on all these clothes when you got a closet full of clothes is not going to negatively impact the budget if I don't know how much you're bringing to the table to offset what you're about to take out of my pocket? That's the question that was on the table. That was what the $1 million question was. And the funny thing is that it never happened. Like she couldn't answer that question. She was stumped at the fact that it needs to be mutual. So if she wanted a boyfriend or a husband or somebody like that would cater to her whims, then she would have to put herself in a position where she's talking to somebody who's actually going to do what she wants done. And it ain't happening like that right now because she's listening to those stories where, oh, independent is the thing. Independent, I've said this on the show plenty of times, independent is not good for a relationship. Self-sufficient is good for a relationship, but independent is not good for a relationship. And the reason why independent is not good for a relationship is because relationships are built on codependency. I've said it before. A man depends on a woman for the things that he needs that she can provide. A woman depends on a man for the things that he needs for the things that she needs that he can provide. Your partner is useful to you as long as you are able to depend on them. Your partner is not useful to you if you cannot depend on them. This is the reason why, since women need money, they depend on the man to provide them with money. And if a woman does not get the money that she wants, then she leaves that man for a man that gives her the amount of money that she wants. Now, that then doubles us back to the understanding that men need physical and emotional attention. And men depend on the women to get that physical or emotional attention, which means that if his woman is bringing him that physical or emotional attention, then she is deemed useful. If she is not, then she is deemed a liability. Now, in addition to the emotional attention, the women are still also expected from the men to actually contribute in some other ways that are not necessarily financial, but the task-based stuff that needs to be done. Like, for example, earlier today, I was trying to tow a car. I had to put a battery in the car. I had to put some tires on the car, or put air in the tires that were on the car. But I had 2 clients that I had back to back during the time that the car was supposed to get picked up. So I wasn't able to get everything squared away before the tow was ordered because one of my workers had called in the tow from a completely different state. So the tow came in. I'm getting notified. I got 2 clients. I got a 2-hour window of clients. And inside of the 2 hours, the car is supposed to be relocated. So I have to end one client, go get the battery, put it into the car, and then try to spend 10 minutes pumping up 2 tires. But I had a 5-minute window in between the 2 clients. It took me 3 minutes to get the battery into the car and get the keys where the car could be accessed by the tow truck driver. So I didn't have an extra 10 minutes to pump up both of the tires. So I have to come back and go into the second meeting, fresh out of the first meeting, haven't had a chance to stop at the bathroom or anything, jump right into the second meeting. And 30 minutes into the second meeting, I have to pause the second meeting to tell the tow truck driver, hey, I'm going to need you to run this on a flatbed. And if you're running it on a flatbed, that you need to throw some air into the tires and everything to that effect, because I don't want to mess this car up, but it's got flats and I didn't have time to put air in the tires. So he's like, don't worry about it. I'll take care of you. I got the ability to put some air in the tires. I got the ability to put it on some dollies and this, that, and the third and get it taken care of. And I'm like, great. So which saved me out. But if I had a partner, I could have told my partner, hey, look, I just got called that they're going to come and get the car. Could you put the battery in the car, and could you put the air in the tires? Or I could have had a situation set up where the night before or the morning before, I could have had my partner at least go out there the morning before everything started going south while I was asleep and say, hey, could you make sure that there's some fresh air in the tires in the morning, so that when they come and get the car tomorrow afternoon, that the car's got air in the tires, and then I'll throw the battery in the car. That type of teamwork happens when you have a partner. But when you have a liability where the female will tell you, well, I thought you would do that, or you supposed to be a man, you should be able to do it on your own, or a situation where they're making excuses as to why they should not contribute to the fact that you need to be in more than one place at one time and you need them to help you out. That's the types of relationships that I tell you guys that we do not belong in, and we do not deserve to be treated in that fashion if we're expected to pay out. It's not a good look. So we're in a position now where everything is taken care of. But if everything is being taken care of by the man, because we're not dealing with the traditional feminine woman that would have handled all of the resources, that would have taken the reins and took care of business the way business needed to be taken care of, she would have made the call. She would have had everything moved when it needed to be moved, and she would have made sure that the tires would have been sufficient, or at least made sure that the truck driver had the ability to get the tires sufficient so that the husband could have worked on both clients and not had to sacrifice time with one or both clients to make sure that the car got relocated. Those are the types of examples when we say that when we're looking for a partner in a woman, we're not looking for a woman that's going to financially pay a perspective of. And that's one of the misconceptions that we have, is that when we say that we're looking for a partner, a woman thinks, oh, I'm supposed to pay the way men pay. Well, no. But since you don't want to do anything else, yeah, that's probably the best way to go, because usually effort is substituted by money. So if you don't want to put any effort into the situation, then you got to pay your way in. But for those people who don't have a lot of money, they put a lot of effort into their investment so that they can reap the financial rewards of their effort. But in a relationship, it's a one-way mentality where women believe that their effort is not needed and that their presence is entitled to financial compensation. And that misconception leads to the ideology that females are prizes. Well, you might be a trophy, and trophies sit on a shelf and collect dust and serve no purpose and have literally no value. But a prize, something that is worth having, is something that you have to, that has some kind of value. And the value is from the person that is valuing you. It is not self-value. Your self-value is not defined by somebody else. Your self-value and your self-worth is how much you appreciate and value yourself, how much you can do for yourself. But when you're dealing with sociology, social structures, you're dealing with the value that somebody else has of you. Like, for example, how much did your boss value you? That's based on how effective you are at work. In school, how much does your teacher value you? That's how effective you are at work. I mean, in school, when you're dealing with group projects in class, how does your team, your team and your class project value you? That depends on how much effort you put into your work. So in all of these situations, look, how much does your bank value you? That's how much capital that you put into their account. How much you do for them is how much they value you. So with that being said, when you start spinning this around to a relationship, the value of a woman is dependent upon how much effort she puts into her boyfriend or her husband. And if she's not putting any effort into her boyfriend or her husband, she's worthless. And like a trophy, you would be fun to look at. Like a toy on a shelf, you might be fun to mess around with, but can you serve a practical purpose besides entertainment? Because men do not look for entertainment. Men look for companions, partners. A captain on a ship is not looking for extra passengers to hang out on a boat. The captain on help with the steering the boat, help with operating the boat, help with maintaining the boat. Same thing with a relationship. We don't get these things. These concepts just slip the minds of a lot of people. They just feel like they don't have to do anything, but they're entitled to get everything that they're looking for. And a lot of times, some people believe that they will always get away with what they're looking for, what they're doing. They'll always get away with it with no responsibility for reciprocation. And there comes a time in life, sometimes sooner, sometimes later, there comes a time in life where where these individuals will hit a wall. And when they hit that wall, they're going to be wondering why it is hard for them to find another match. Well, so many end up retiring out of the game, and some retire early. Some just quit in their early 20s because they just tired of the nonsense. But they retire at an early age from the dating game because, I mean, it's not in our favor. But after so many negative experiences, some just chalk it up as, you know what, I'm not even going to try no more, because clearly part of it is a decision-making process of accepting this person by lowering your standards and accepting this person. You already have to lower your standards because you're not getting somebody that's on your level, because if you're on the same level, they put you in a friend zone. So when you're dealing with somebody that is not on your level already, and now you have to impress them and they're beneath you like that, you're off to a bad start. You're off to a bad start. You're not supposed to be in a scenario where you are talking to a person that you have no value in, and your goal is to impress them until you find value in them. Does that make sense at all? I mean, at least when the roles are reversed, since men are expected to pay for stuff, if a woman invests into a man, she's guaranteed that she's going to get something out of that, even if she breaks even or gets a little bit more on top of it. But in those situations where men are responsible for paying the whole time, from the hi, what's your name, to the last breath after the wedding, men are responsible for paying the whole time. And only 12% of men benefit from divorce, which is less than 12,000, probably 13,000 men right now. And it's not looking better in upcoming times. And that's one of the reasons why we see the struggle. We recognize the struggle, but we also understand that it ain't worth it. And we could do so much, because every show I tell you guys about things that we could do, because Ken's writing company clearly is a startup, a small business. It's not a startup. It's a small business that, instead of wasting money on impressing females, he actually starts up a business. And actually, he's personally based in Kenya. I actually seen the reviews for him. And when you're looking at other places like Alan has, look at that, we got people coming in. Alan has his own business. He has two businesses. He ain't sitting over there trying to waste time and waste money on girlfriends and stuff. Alan's trying to take care of two businesses. He doesn't have any free time. So a lot of men are saying, instead of wasting time on entertaining somebody else, I'm going to focus on my grind and build myself up. And eventually, somebody's going to be hovering around my person that I wasn't aware of, and that person is going to make sure that I've got everything that I need all the time. And when I find that person that makes sure that I got everything that I need all the time, that's the person that I would be able to say, okay, maybe I can see what kind of future we have. Does that make sense? Now, I think that was all of the comments that we had that I thought that was really worth talking about over the past month that came in. We actually had another person come in on that comment and talked about how people who want control always say that it's okay when a man has to pay out, but they don't practice the ability to do the same thing that they are demanding, because women believe that they should be in control of their own money and they should be in control of their own stuff, and they should not give any control to the man. And in that same conversation, I actually asked this person, I said, well, if that's the case, then when a woman is living in a man's house, why doesn't a man have control over what happens in his house? And why doesn't a man have control over what happens with his car? And why doesn't a man have control over what happens with the money that he's spending and where his money goes? Why does he have to submit to somebody else and relinquish his control over his house and relinquish his control over his car and relinquish the control over his money to make somebody else feel comfortable that they are taking over his resources? She didn't have an answer for that either. Now, I got questions now. I got questions. And I also had one that was a really good comment. A woman valuing you is not the same as a woman respecting you. So that is a very valid comment. But a woman that does not have respect for you is a woman that doesn't value you. So you're not going to have a woman that respects you and doesn't value you at the same time. Because if she respects you, she's got some value in you. If she doesn't respect you, she's not going to value you. They're not going to put value into somebody that they have no respect in. They might have appreciation or admiration for your skill set or your ability to get the job done, but you're not going to have a person, really say that you matter to them and they have absolutely no respect for you. It doesn't work that way. It doesn't work that way. And I thought that that's interesting that when we deal with this oppositional defiance, we look at, they don't want what they're saying that they want. They're just saying that they want that to cause problems. They want to see what you'll do. They want to see if you'll work it out, that you'll figure out a way to get through. They'll see if you're going to quit early, if you're going to back out of the deal. And sometimes you may have to, because you're not supposed to allow yourself to go through so much abuse. You're not supposed to allow yourself to be mistreated so often. And, a lot of men make it a habit to endure, but allowing yourselves to go through so much abuse for so long, it's not, sometimes we've got to really just shut down and just stop, because until the abuse is going to not continue anymore, the men are going to continue to be mistreated, and the women that we're engaging with are going to believe that it's okay, and it's not okay. And saying that it's for a good cause is a very unethical thing to do, because when you're saying that you're going to sacrifice one person's feelings for the sake of another person's desires, when you're not trying to reciprocate, that is a horrible mentality to have. So with that being said, I'm going to put a pin in tonight's show. Make sure that you guys like and subscribe. Make sure that you guys join the membership. We do have some more guests coming up, but I also have to iron out this Atlanta's nutrients, the gummies that we've been giving, the ones with the testosterone and the magnesium, and these are some really good ones right here. One of them actually tastes like grape. And then we have the keto one that actually helps with here it is. The keto one is actually enriched with metabolism boosters, so it helps you with your bowel movements and getting your circulation going, so that you start feeling a lot better. And I actually felt like a lot better for a bit, till burnt out. It's not going to replace getting sleep, but it definitely increases your physical condition, improves your physical condition. So I got to finish putting those videos together, and then also get lined up some more products that are supposed to be promoting, because we have another product that actually, this one's for the ladies. It's an app that allows the ladies to take pictures of stuff that they want, and then turn around and take pictures of the same thing, or compare that picture to something else in the store, and develop a wish list where they would be able to buy certain items on their wish list for Black Friday. And it's a good thing to have to get set up for Black Friday. And since Black Friday's next week, I'm going to try to get that promo out this weekend. And then it'll actually help for Christmas as well. So talking about it right now is a good time to talk about it, because we can not only get some Black Friday sales out there where they can shop smart, not so much shop smart, because wasting money on stuff is not smart, but be more responsible about the shopping. We'll be able to piece that stuff together. So I'm going to try to get that done this week as well, and go over some of the collaborations that are already under my belt. And as we iron those out, we're going to be looking towards getting some guests scheduled on the show going forward. And as we find those guests on the show going forward, we'll see a new lineup with new special guests talking about their products and services and their small business and what they liked about the process and some of the hardest things that they've had to experience in their potential 5-year plan going forward as to where they see themselves taking their business. Keep in touch with us. Make sure, like I said before, you guys like and subscribe. We typically start the 9 Eastern, 8 Central, 5 Pacific. We were a few minutes behind today, but we still crossed over our full hour minimum that I try to do. One way or another, I do it. If I got to do it in pieces or I do it all together, we still crossed over the threshold. So I'm glad that I was able to accomplish that today. Beyond that, we are here 7 days a week, 7 nights a week. By hook or by crook, we're always here. If you hit that subscription button, you will see a show airs live every night. So keep an eye out for it. In the meantime, I want to thank you guys for coming to the podcast. And ladies, I always say this, and I'm going to keep telling it to you. As long as the situation doesn't make sense, I'm going to keep asking you ladies to make it make sense. So ladies, make it make sense. And for the rest of you guys, I really appreciate you coming to the podcast. Thank you. Special shout out for Red Void, Omni81, Liberty Twitcher, Silly Emma from Twitch. Appreciate you guys coming from Twitter. And TikTok is still dark, so once we get TikTok back up, we'll see what's going on there. In the meantime, I really appreciate you guys coming to the podcast. Thank you for coming to This and That. I'm your host, Xander, and I'll see you tomorrow night, 9 Eastern, 8 Central, 5 Pacific. Y'all have a good night.